If you were to travel back in time a couple of hundred years ago, then I'd be stood in the middle of a busy waterside town. But that entire town was moved just under half a mile away so as not to spoil the view from this stunning castle. And that view takes in these beautiful landscaped grounds as well as a loch, which is a huge clue as to where I am. So join me in a couple of moments where I'll be revealing more. On today's show, we'll be taking the high road. Now, you really have escaped the country here, haven't you?
For sure.
Fabulous.
It's lovely, rolling countryside.
It's fabulous.
And the low road as we search for a perfect place to retire to.
Out of this world. I could sit here and look at this for hours on end.
Got a touch of the Hollywood Hills to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Today I'm in Scotland in Argyll and Bute, and this is the magnificent Inverary Castle on the shores of Loch Fyne. The castle is the ancestral home of the Duke of Argyll, chief of the clan Campbell, and it was the second Duke who set about building it back in 1744. He tasked his architect to design not only the castle, but also the new town of Inverary, located just along the shore, which now enjoys protected status as one of the earliest and best preserved plant towns in the country. Later on in the show, I'll be stepping inside these castle walls to find out more about its history and its occupants, both past and present. Argyll and Bute is situated in the southwest of Scotland and includes 23 inhabited islands. It's an area full of mountains, glens, woodlands and lochs, stretching from the Mull of Kintyre in the south to the Isle of Lismore in the north. Bordering Loch Lomond and 220 miles of the Trossachs National Park, it has more than its fair share of national nature reserves, with 7 in total. With some of the most beautiful beaches in Scotland, almost 80% of its population live within half a mile of its coastline. The region is steeped in history. Kilmartin Glen has one of the most important concentrations of Neolithic and Bronze Age remains, including these distinctive standing stones. With 60 medieval castles, several world-class distilleries and such expansive waterscapes, it's understandable why escapees would set their heart on moving to this area. The average price for a detached house here in Argyll and Bute comes in at just over £195,000. That's a very welcome £45,000 below the national Scottish figure. But this is a very sparsely populated part of Scotland. The region covers around 10% of the country's landmass, yet has a population density of around 90% below the national UK figure. So properties, as you might expect, are fairly thin on the ground, which means we could have our work cut out. But one thing this region does have in abundance is peace, tranquility and unspoilt views, which is just as well, because that's exactly what today's buyers are after. House hunters George and Adeline have lived in their current home in Ayr for 34 years, almost as long as the 38 years they've been married. The couple first met at the tender age of 16 when they fell in love over the garden fence.
Our gardens almost backed on to one another, and George would walk me home at night time. Then when we got into our respective bedrooms, we used to flash the lights at one another to say goodnight.
Admin manager Adeline has handed in her notice at Glasgow University and will soon be joining George, a former hospital manager, in retirement. Both feel the time has never been better for a change of location, a dramatic one, to the mountains and lochs of Argyll and Bute, an area where they've enjoyed numerous family holidays.
I grew to love the scenery, the quietness, birdsong even, and something that we really want to do is wake up and have no noise.
Just to be at one with nature, actually, slow down the pace of life. It'll be good for our grandchildren to be able to experience a bit of growing up in the country as well.
Neither wants to slow down completely. They're keen to have an active role in their new community, contributing arts and crafts to local fairs.
We have very different personalities, but We make such a good team when we set about doing things, a project around the house or cooking in the kitchen. We just seem to gel and we instinctively know what the other's going to do.
I do what I'm told.
They're both keen cooks who clearly enjoy a design project, having totally remodelled their current home.
Our property's changed over the years we've had it. We've put 2 extensions onto it, so it's nothing like the house we first bought. It's been a great family home. It will be quite sad to leave, but it's another chapter in our life we're looking forward to.
George is planning to while away his time wood turning and needs space to use his lathe.
I love working with wood. That's probably one of my greatest hobbies, is creating stuff from wood, be it skirting boards, door frames, things like that. And I just don't like gloss painting, really, that's another thing.
Adeline's looking forward to having more time for her sewing. She's even considering making some more tartan trousers for George to add to his growing collection.
I think we need a change, and we'll have a lot of fun doing up a different property and making it our own.
George and Adeline would like to find a house on the mainland rather than on the islands, but don't mind extending their search as far north as the Highlands. With their house sold, I'm keen to find out exactly what kind of dream home they're looking for. Well, look at this. Beautiful country. Even in inclement weather, it's gorgeous here, isn't it?
This is fabulous.
Let's talk about the house then. Talk to me about the situation and the location of the property you're after.
We'd love to have an elevated position overlooking some water, hills in the distance perhaps. Fairly accessible to a local village.
Fairly accessible. What's that? Horse and cart away?
About a mile and a half, 2 miles.
Yeah, so that we can be part of a community, so that we can walk to the local shop, the local pub.
What about style of property?
Open to suggestions, really.
Are you?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the house itself. What are the must-haves with it?
Minimum of 3 bedrooms.
Because you've got grandchildren and
Yes.
children and parents that might come up and visit.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay. Any specific facilities for parents or anything like that?
Bedroom downstairs would be handy.
Thought so.
And
Possible.
a bathroom
And a
downstairs.
bathroom downstairs.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. King gardeners?
Yes.
How much outside space we're looking for?
Well, enough to build a workshop to start with.
Enough outside space to build some inside space. All right, George.
The garden we have now is, I would say, a town garden and well tended. We are aware we're not getting any younger, so it would have to be more of a wild garden with shrubs and not so many flower beds that need turned over every year. So we're going to be careful with the amount of land.
Let's talk budget. How much are you looking to spend?
Maximum £350,000.
Okay, that's a healthy budget. My job is about pointing in the right direction, showing you the houses and reminding you of what you said you were after, but also along the way reminding you of also things that might be a challenge in the future. Because this is a long-term purchase, isn't it?
Yes.
We find the right house, you can make a move on it.
Yes.
Right, let's get going then. Come on. With a maximum budget of £350,000, George and Adeline are looking for a 3-bedroom property with accommodation options downstairs. They're flexible about style and happy to do minor alterations, as long as the setting gives them inspiring views. So the pressure's on to find the perfect location. I think we've found some terrific properties, and at each I'll be asking our buyers to guess the asking price at the end of the tour before revealing it. They say they don't mind doing work to a property to make it their own, but will our mystery house prove to be a design challenge too far? Our first property is situated in the Scottish Highlands, in the hamlet of Glenahulish, 3 miles away from the village of Ballachulish with its breathtaking scenery. The village sits in the shadow of not one but 2 of Scotland's 282 Munros, mountains of over 3,000 feet. Once known for its slate, the quarries closed in 1955. There are cafes, shops, a bus service, even a local pub renowned for its food, all a short distance from Glenahoolish and our first property. Along with the peace and tranquility, I'm sure they wouldn't say no to a house with a bit of wow factor. OK then, our first offering is this one here. Look at that.
Wow.
Nice.
Yep, looks good.
What do you think about the style of the property itself?
Like
Loving it, loving all that glass.
Yeah.
Like it.
Yep, I like the decking. I'm liking the look of the garden.
So, south is that away. We should be pleased to hear, because you've got a bit more privacy that way, but you've got gorgeous views there.
Yeah, lovely.
Beautiful.
So, should we go inside?
Yep,
Yes, please.
absolutely.
Come on.
Yep.
This traditional timber-framed house was designed by a local architect and built in 2005 using quality timber, which should appeal to George the woodworker.
I'm loving all the glass and the light.
How does this compare with the sort of living room you've got at home then?
Much brighter, much airier. Yeah, I'm liking the stove as well, actually. We don't have one of those at home, but it's on our wish list. And I'm loving seeing the bird life out the window, like close quarters.
There's not a lot of work for you to do here. Is that an advantage or...?
It's an advantage, yes. Yeah, definitely.
Good.
You'll love all
fresh paintwork.
the wood finishes.
Wood finishes
as well.
are fantastic, wood windows. Nice wood floor as well.
Not a bit of gloss paint inside,
No,
is it?
not
You don't
inside.
like gloss paint,
no,
do you?
I hate gloss paint.
Right. So, this house, it's not huge, but it's spread out. You've got that room to breathe in here. Big wide hallways that almost feels like rooms in themselves. And that continues through to the kitchens. If you come with me now, I'll show you. Righty-ho, another big room.
Lights.
Like this, nice and
Yeah.
light.
It's nice, like the floor as well. I like the fact that you can eat in here. I love the walk-in window. Can imagine a round table in
I like
there
space, to
as
be
well.
honest.
Yeah.
Excellent. Let's take a look at the bedrooms. Let me just squeeze through here. Good. The two spare bedrooms could double as a study and sewing room, or as guest rooms when family and friends come to stay. There's a family bathroom with a separate shower, plenty of storage and underfloor heating throughout. So right at the far end is your master suite with amazing views.
Yeah, golf course and
Yes.
beyond.
Lovely.
Lovely, yes.
Now you get a huge ensuite there, big walk-in shower.
Okay.
But behind you there is a big walk-in wardrobe.
That's big.
Yeah.
With such beautiful views, the whole room is configured to have your bed that end. But if you had your bed that end, you'd see more of the view, wouldn't you?
You possibly would actually, yeah.
And there's room for a double there, isn't there?
Yes.
There definitely is.
Outside there's a generous driveway, a third of an acre of garden, as well as that all-important double garage for George's lathe. Right then, you got a bit of lawn mowing to do, not too much.
Nope, not at all.
You wanted something to do, didn't you? But
Yeah.
you wanted it to be manageable.
Yep. It's looking good.
Yeah, it's looking great. Like the way it stages down, decking at the front. Back's got a nice patio, not too big. Nice area of grass. The kids come, kick a ball.
It's very nice. I mean, they're just stunning surroundings.
Yeah, stunning views.
There's a feeling of peace and tranquility.
Good. But how much do you think you'd be prepared to buy this place for?
How about £275,000?
What is a guess?
Yeah. £280,000.
The asking price for this house is £325,000.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, we just thought with the 3 bedrooms
No
and
separate dining
no
room.
separate dining room.
I
Yes.
think if I was to guide you, practicality-wise, this feels like the size of house that could be quite
Yes.
good for you.
Yes.
Yes, no, I agree.
Especially when you've got a size of garage like that.
Yeah.
Go and have a good look around at the house, walk around the outside space as well, and get a feel for this property, and I'll catch you whenever you're done. All right?
Okay, thank you.
I can forgive those low guesses. They haven't looked for property for decades now. And whilst it's a modest-sized house, I think what they will start to take into consideration and really come to appreciate is the wonderful position that this house gives them. I think it's a cracker. £25,000 under budget, this timber-framed single-storey property provides an impressive living room, a large kitchen diner, a double garage for George, along with fantastic views.
Big double garage.
Nice electric doors.
This is your domain.
Absolutely.
You could have your wood lathe in here, couldn't you?
Got it.
And plenty of space
Again,
for all the
plenty of
other
light.
bits and bobs.
Excellent.
I think this house is very suitable for us. I like the airiness, the light. I like the spaciousness of the lounge in particular. And I like the size of the garden.
I like this property. I like the surrounding area and the views, especially the light in the lounge. I also like the double garage because that's people probably spend a lot of time. Yes, very nice.
Have you enjoyed looking around the house?
We have
Very much so.
Well, keep that in your memory banks, 'cause that's one of three. Come in, mate.
Okay.
There are more inhabited islands in Argyll and Bute than anywhere else in Scotland. In fact, there have been people living on the Isle of Mull for over 8,000 years. However, we've arranged for George and Adeline to visit one of their favourite uninhabited remote places, the breathtaking island of Staffa and Finkel's Cave. In 2001, the island, which is known for its wildlife, was designated a nature reserve, now run by the National Trust for Scotland.
Just got a boat, right?
Heading for Staffa?
Yep, thank you. Thank you.
Today our couple are meeting Davy Kirkpatrick, who first started taking visitors to the island in 1954.
So has the trips back and forward been part of your family for a while then, Davy?
Yes, we go back a long way into it. My grandfather would row people or sail people if the wind was suitable out to Staffa, but not as regularly as what we do today.
Okay.
You know, we are back and forward every day for 7 months.
Known locally as the eighth wonder of the world, people have been coming to marvel at the island's famous hexagonal columns since the Vikings. Queen Victoria, Jules Verne, Sir Walter Scott and Alfred Lord Tennyson have all been ashore. The island is also popular with puffins who arrive every spring and gradually come ashore to lay their one egg during the summer.
The last time we were here, the puffins had migrated for the season.
They're just arriving now.
Okay.
I don't know about other parts of the country, but certainly we've got a saying that the easterly wind is a poverty wind. If you're in farming or gardening, then you'll know that nothing grows east. And fishing's the same, the seabirds are the same, they just don't like performing.
You never get bored of coming out here then, Davy?
No, never. Staffa changes all the time, the light changes. Dull day like today, it's still bright. But people make it change. When you see somebody's face for the first time, looking at that, I mean, it's amazing, really.
There was a young lady in the boat just there last week now. She'd just come back from the Galapagos, and she says, this is better than the Galapagos. That's her words, not mine.
Staffa's spectacular columns are made up of dark grey rock called basalt, formed from a lava flow 60 million years ago. The cliff face is called the colonnade or the Great Face. The sound of the waves crashing in the caves inspired Felix Mendelssohn's Hebrides Overture, Opus 26.
Wow,
Here's this.
scary. So this as great as the last time you saw it?
It's spectacular as ever.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
It just gets better and better, doesn't it?
Changes all the time.
You see something different every time you come.
Definitely.
The eighth wonder of the world, indeed.
Yeah.
Look at the different colours on the
Sounds
ceiling and the different sounds, the thundering.
brilliant.
It's like a cathedral down at the end, isn't it?
After taking in one of Argyll and Bute's most remarkable natural sights, it's time to resume our property journey back on dry land. Our next stop is to a property 20 miles from Oban in the village of Loch Orr. Top of our house hunters' wish list is peace and tranquility, which the village of Loch Orr has in abundance. It grew up around the local hotel, which opened in 1871. Along with the village stores, there's also a local pub. At the northern tip of the loch is the railway station, which first opened in 1880. The lands, once owned by one of the oldest Argyll clans, the MacArthurs, are home to St Conan's Kirk, one of the most elaborate examples of church architecture in Scotland. We're heading to our next property. The saying never judge a book by its cover springs to mind.